In this video, I'm going to take you through the American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card. Bit of a mouthful. Let's just call it the Amex Gold here in the UK. I'll explain to you how it works, what you get every time you use it, and why, thanks to a change with Nectar and Avios, it's now my top pick, potentially earning you 350 quid in cashback after the first year. And that's why it's beating out the Amex Platinum Cashback credit card as my #1 pick for a cashback and reward credit card. I'm Andy Webb. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. I blog over at becleverwithyourcash.com and obviously make the videos here. Pretty much everything I do is aimed at helping you make the most of your money, whether that's spending money, making money, saving money, or just better managing your money. Now, if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any future videos, please do hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell just below this video. Right, let's get into it. Let's talk about this card, the Amex Gold card. I'll get into in a minute exactly why it's all of a sudden, magically, become a better card than the Platinum Cashback credit card and the Nectar card and all of those. But first of all, let's go through some of the things you need to know about that card, exactly how it works, how much it costs, things like that. Let's start with the cost, actually, because I don't like paying for these reward cards most of the time. You're generally not going to get your money back, particularly this one, because it's £140 a year, okay? £140. You are not going to get your return on that card if you're paying £140. However, it is free for the first year. So for the first 12 months, you pay nothing at all for this card, okay? And you want to kind of sort of factor in that you need to cancel it so you don't forget, and I'll come back to that in a minute because there are a few things worth thinking about. So that's the first thing. Free for the first 12 months, then £140 after that. You earn, rather than earning cash back directly to your card, you earn, as the name suggests, membership reward points, Amex Preferred Rewards. Now, for every single pound that you spend with that card, every full pound you spend with that card, you will get 1 reward point back. Now, generally, that's going to have a value of half a penny. So 0.5% is roughly what that's equivalent to and has been over the last few years. That's because the normal ways to sort of redeem your reward points that I would recommend would have been swapping it for a gift card at somewhere like M&S, Amazon, Selfridges, Waterstones. You can swap it and it works out, the currency exchange value from points to pounds works out at, 10,000 points would be worth 50 quid, for example. Okay, so that's how that would work, 0.5%. That's the general thing. You can get double points or even triple points if you use them in certain ways, such as spending abroad or spending them on travel products or with Amex Travel. However, that's going to kind of, I think, be outweighed by the charges that are added on if you are going to spend it abroad. So I wouldn't use it for those things. I would focus on this. Essentially, this is a card that will earn you 1 reward point for every full pound you spend. You also get a freebie with this one, which is pretty irrelevant right now, but if you are able to travel again, you get 2 airport lounge passes. Now that might sound exciting, and they're valued at roughly 20 quid each, so it's an extra 40 quid freebie. However, how good that airport lounge is, and in fact, even if there is one that you can use, depends on what airport you're using. When I had this card, the last time I had this card, we actually went abroad and we didn't use our passes because the lounges were pretty rubbish. They weren't anything special at all. Now, there will be some really nice ones, and maybe it's worth looking at if you are going to one of the airports which has a participating lounge. But on the whole, it's there. I wouldn't be bothered about it, particularly right now, because you can't actually use them. But that's the main bit about this card. So far, doesn't sound massively impressive when you compare it to what you get with this one here, the Platinum Cashback credit card, because that gives you £1. Every £1 you spend, you get 1p back. So it's 1%. So you're getting double the value. So it's worth more straight away. So that's a pretty short review, isn't it? That's what you get with the card. It's not as good as the Platinum card. Video over, right? No, stay there. Don't move. Don't go anywhere. Because there has been a change. Nothing to do with Amex. A change that's happened over here, completely separately. But what it's meant is you can now get more value for those reward points. It's increased essentially how you can redeem them, how you can exchange them. And when you do that, all of a sudden, it beats the Platinum card. Now, this is because Avios, who I'm sure you know Avios, they are the reward loyalty scheme that you get where you earn points and you can put them towards British Airways and flights with other airlines, has moved from partnering with Tesco Clubcard to partnering with Nectar. Now, in some ways, it's exactly the same. You can swap your Nectar points for your Avios points, right? But the one big difference is you can also exchange them the other way. So if you've got some Avios points that you're not using, you can convert them into Nectar points. Now, this is interesting. So the value isn't one-to-one. In fact, 400 Nectar points, to get that, you swap 250 Avios points. Now let's bring it back to American Express. You can swap those reward points, which, like I said, if you swap them for an Amazon gift card or even for Nectar points, it's 1-for-1. So one Amex reward is worth one Nectar point, for example, so it's still worth half a penny. But you could also swap one Amex reward point for one Avios point. Then, if you swap that one Avios point for one Nectar point, it's actually jumping in value. It's worth far more. It's worth actually 0.8 of a penny. So, you know, if it was cash back, 0.8% rather than 0.5%. Just by going through this extra exchange. Rather than just going directly from rewards to Nectar, you're going via Avios instead. Now, 0.8%, that's still less than 1%, so surely still that American Express Platinum Cashback credit card is better than the gold. But what you've got to factor in as well, the first time you get it, is that as long as you haven't had that American Express card for 2 years, you get a welcome bonus, okay? Now, with the Platinum card, it's 5% on the first 2.5 grand that you spend, worth 125 quid, which is better than all the others that you would get. However, with this one, although that initial reward, it would have been less if you just converted it for the other things. Often people say you get those 20,000 points, 20,000 reward points worth 100 quid if you convert it to an M&S Amazon gift card. If you add in this extra step and go Avios then Nectar, all of a sudden that value jumps up to 160 quid. It's worth 60 quid more just by going through this extra process, extra step. Now, there is a higher spend in order to get that bonus. You have to spend £3,000 in the first 3 months. You spend a penny less, you don't get that bonus at all. So you've got to make sure you know you've got enough spending going on when you apply for those first 3 months that you will hit that target. Plus, you also earn the underlying points, that 1 point per pound spend. On 3 grand, that's worth, would have been 15 quid. With that increased value, that increased transition, it's worth 24 quid. So actually, you're going to get £184 back if you spend 3 grand in the first 3 months. Now, if you spent the same amount on the Platinum card, you'd get that £125 bonus and you'd get another fiver. You get 130 quid. So straight away, just in that first 3 months, it's worth £54 more. And although after that, the points are still worth less with the gold card, again, 0.8% versus the Platinum's 1%, because that original bonus is worth so much more, you'd actually need to spend £19,000 in a year on the Platinum before you earn more money, exactly the same transactions with the gold card. Now, obviously, there's a bit of give or take there because you only get the point on exact pound spend. So if you spent £1.20, you'd only get the point or the cash back on that first pound, not that 20p. So actually, all realistically, you're going to spend more money than that. Even so, it just shows you that all of a sudden, this Amex Gold card has jumped up to be worth so much more than the Platinum card. It really is going to earn you a huge amount more. Now, if you don't think you can spend £3,000 in that first 3 months, then it's not going to be the one for you because you'll just get that underlying points. You won't get the bonus. Whereas with the Platinum card, you will get that 5% if you spend £1,000, £1,500, £2,000, anything up to 2.5 grand in that first 3 months. So that is much better if you don't think you're going to hit the 3 grand. If you are, then it's, absolutely, it's the winner right now. And if you are a big spender, a really big spender, perhaps you use it for business expenses, so you've got a lot of things going on all the time on there. Perhaps you just spend a lot of money. Again, these cards shouldn't be a reason to spend more than you normally would. It should be about using your everyday spending. But if over that first year, in that first 12 months, you spend 15 grand on the card, you'll get another bonus. You will get a 10,000 reward point bonus. Now, normally that would be worth 50 quid in the old system, if you just converted it for the other options I told you about. But if you go via this Nectar, the Avios to Nectar conversion, it's worth an extra 80 quid. Okay. Now, one thing you have to bear in mind here, I mentioned that fee. I said I'll come back to that annual fee. Obviously, when you start year 2, that £140 fee comes in, and you don't get these bonus points until a month after your anniversary, that 12-month anniversary. So you will have to pay 140 quid at the start of that second year in order to get that extra 10,000 points, which essentially is worth 80 quid if you do this conversion into Nectar points. But you can then cancel it. Once you've got those points, you can pro-rata it. So rather than pay, you'll get a refund for the remaining 11 months of the year. So essentially you're going to pay £12 in order to get an extra £80. It's worth another 68 quid. And that's where you potentially could get, as I say, if you spend 15 grand on this card, you get the welcome bonus, you spend 15 grand in the first 12 months, and you wait another month into year 2 before claiming back that fee, that's worth £348 in a year. Now, if you spent 15k on the Platinum, you wouldn't get anywhere near it. If you spent 15k on this gold card, but transferred it into Amazon gift cards or whatever, then you only get £213. So this is absolutely, I think, win-win, one of the best cards out there right now. Now, when you cancel that card as well at the end of, month 13 after getting it, you've got a few different options. The one that I would recommend is, rather than close things down completely, I would look at maybe getting an American Express reward credit card. There's no annual fee for this. The money you get back, no welcome bonus that comes with it, anything like that, because you already had the welcome bonus. But you can keep those rewards active, so you don't have to convert them straight away over into Avios and then into Nectar if you don't want to. You might want to hold on to them for a while, see if any sort of extra bonuses come along to increase that conversion. You never know, they do happen from time to time. Now, one important thing you do have to talk about with this hack, with this particular credit card and going from Amex Rewards to Avios Rewards to Nectar Rewards, is that you are limiting yourself to using those points, using your money that you earn in just a few different retailers. Pretty much Sainsbury's, eBay, and Argos. There are some others you can redeem them at, but they're the main ones where you're going to use them, I would say. Now, if you shop at Sainsbury's all the time, great, okay? Use them there, get your money back, lovely, right? No loss at all. If you haven't got a Sainsbury's near you and you don't really shop at eBay or Argos, then you might want to think twice about it, because otherwise those points are just going to be sitting there. With the other cards, although you might get less, you might get fewer points, you can at least use them, that cash back, just to pay off your bill. And that money that you've saved by paying off the bill, you can use however you want. There is one little hack, an extra little thing that could boost your take home from this gold card even more. And that's via something called the Nectar Double Up promotion, which happens every November at Sainsbury's stores. Now, there's no guarantee it will happen in 2021, but it has happened over the last few years. It used to be twice a year, but it's gone down to once a year now. This is where you can, just for a 2-week period, double up your points up to a value of 100 quid. So whereas normally £50 worth of points would be worth 50 quid, you can swap them so they're worth £100. So potentially you'll get an extra 50 quid back on top of that return already. Now, it's not the best promotion in the world. There are limitations to it. For example, you can't use it on your normal groceries. You can't use it on food or most drink. The only drink you can use it on is Taste the Difference wine, although that's no bad thing to get that wine essentially half price. But the other areas of Sainsbury's you can use it: homeware, clothing, gift wrapping, all that kind of stuff. There are areas you can use it. So it's not perfect, and I wouldn't sort of say you're absolutely going to do it with these points, but it's certainly worth a look when that promo comes around, generally every sort of November, December time. Finally, the last thing to say about any cashback or reward credit card is make sure you clear that balance every single month. If you don't, if you're charged interest on it at all, it's going to wipe out any money that you've made. It's a complete waste of time. So finally, let's summarize this review. The Amex Gold, the American Express Preferred Rewards Gold credit card. It gives £140 a year, but that is free in the first year. You want to make sure you diarise to cancel this card at the end of that year so you don't get charged that fee. However, if you do get charged it when you cancel it, they will pro-rata it, which means they'll cancel it down for just the time you've used it. If you spent £15,000 on that card in that first year, then you'll want to keep hold of it for another month to get some bonus points. But then you'll cancel and you'll get the rest of that annual fee back. If you haven't spent 15k, then you may as well just cancel it before that month, before that year finishes, because you're no point waiting around and paying that fee at all. I'm saying that first year, there is no fee at all. You can convert the points in a number of ways. The points that you earn, you can convert them to spend on your bill. You can convert them for gift cards at shops like Amazon, Selfridges, and M&S. You can convert them into Nectar points. You can convert them into Avios points. However, to get the best reward, you want to convert them into Avios points and then convert your Avios points into Nectar points. And finally, a quick reminder of how much you will earn with this card. you will get one Amex Preferred Rewards point for every £1 that you spend on that card. And as for a new member, if you haven't had an American Express in your name in the last 2 years, you will get a 20,000 point bonus when you spend £3,000 in the first 3 months. Put those together, that's worth over 3 months, a £3,000 spend. It's worth 184 quid if you convert them in the way that I just showed you. Amex points to Avios points to Nectar points. Right, I hope that was useful. If it was, please do hit the like button, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you think, which Amex you have got. And don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. I'm Andy Webb, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.